Hello everybody, it's Saturday evening and I'm assuming that a lot of you will actually be getting ready to go out because you may have lives unlike myself. But I just said I would come on just for a few minutes because I haven't been on in a little while, and I just trying to figure out how to turn down I want to be able to see the comments as they come up. I wanted to come on and talk to everybody. Very first, I was telling people the last time that I was going to be organising some events. Now I haven't had that much time to start organising, but I have provisional dates for Waterford, which is the 27th and 28th of May. Now I was hoping that the hotel would come back to me yesterday, which they didn't, but I'm hoping to do a stand-up event on the evening of the 28th. And hi Fiona, nice to know I'm not on my own. I'm hoping to do stand-up evening in Waterford on the evening of the 27th of May, and then one-to-one readings on the 28th. And I also have provisional dates for Derry in Northern Ireland, and they were the first weekend of June, which I think is the 3rd and 4th of June. I left my diary downstairs, but I think it was the 3rd and 4th. Hi Michelle! 3rd and 4th of June, so the Friday and Saturday, the first Friday and Saturday in June. So again, a stand-up show on the Friday night and one-to-one readings on the Saturday. So I will post those up in the next few days and see if anybody's interested. Now the reason I wanted to come on very quickly today was just to discuss for a few minutes that Mercury's in retrograde, and if anybody's interested in the planets, which I'm not too knowledgeable on, actually my 8-year-old normally tells me a lot of what's going on, but yeah, Mercury is currently in retrograde the last couple of days since the 28th of April, and it will stay there until the 22nd of May. So this is an important time, and also anybody planet watching would have noticed that we've had a lot of full moons over the last few weeks. We've had Jupiter visible and Pluto visible and all that kind of stuff. And you know, don't underestimate the pull that has on people. I have had a lot of people over the last few weeks telling me that, you know, they feel that they're ready to go, they've come for a reading and they've connected with loved ones, and you know that they really would love to be there with them. So I just would want to say to people, you know, don't underestimate how special it is to be here, okay? Because, you know, life is so precious, and you only really see that when you do work like I do and the effect that it has on people, okay? So I want everybody to just keep an eye on loved ones, friends, everything over the next few weeks. You know, when Mercury is in retrograde, it can affect everybody in a negative way. Things are changeable, they're very fluid, and, you know, decisions that you make may not be the right decisions, okay? So try and hang off, you know, making any decisions like moving house, signing contracts, changing jobs, you know, all this kind of stuff. If you go to astrology.com, what is it? I was looking at one, astrologyzone.com, and it has all the details there and the dates that Mercury will be in retrograde, okay? Once we get past 22nd of May, it won't be in retrograde again until 30th of August, so we'll have the summer off, hopefully. But it does say, you know, don't make any of these important decisions, don't launch any new endeavours, make any business decisions, anything like this. Because, you know, problems will occur with all these kind of decisions afterwards, because things will happen that were completely unanticipated, you know. So have a look at that, astrologyzone.com, and do please keep an eye out on your loved ones. You know, I read so many people, and, you know, I'm sure everybody else has heard it on the radio over the last few weeks. I'm on my school run when Joe Duffy's on the radio, so I'd always have him on. And, you know, we've had terrible figures of 800 people just on the island of Ireland alone in the last year that lost their lives through suicide. And I mean, that's an astonishing figure. 800 people, you know, it's 800 families that are bereft, with unanswered questions, you know, 800 people lost to the world, and that's the ones, that doesn't include the ones that we don't know, you know, if they definitely were or weren't. So they're the ones that are completely confirmed. And, you know, we hear it every single day. There's, you know, there was, and I just keep thinking, there was a young man there recently, and he went out for a night out, and a couple of weeks later, you know, his body was found in the water, and you just don't know what happens. Like, drink is a depressant, you know, and there's other things out there which weren't there when I was, well, not readily available when I was younger anyway. You know, and look, watch out for yourselves, you know, take it easy. what else was I going to say to you? Be careful. I don't know, I've just really felt it. I mean, I felt the pull myself the last few weeks with the full moons. It does bring out the worst in us, and we need to keep an eye on people. Now, my background, I told people, is in third level education sector, and I did a course a few years ago, and it's called suicide first aid. And I'm not a counsellor, I'm not a psychiatrist or a therapist or anything like this, okay? My experience is dealing with people, but I did do a course on suicide first aid, and the first thing that they tell you is find a reason to live, okay? Just, you know, even if you know someone close to you is very down, try and find a reason for them to live. Do they have children? Do they have a good job? Is there a holiday coming up? Anything that can give them foresight to look forward and see past this time. Now, from my experience of dealing with people, and every soul, whether living on earth or passed over, we're all different. But one of the things which would be a strong common theme is that they didn't think past the moment. Okay, they didn't think, you know, what the effect was going to be on their loved ones. Okay, now they're all well looked after. There's nobody over there crying and, you know, thinking, you know, oh, I made a mistake. You know, they may regret it, they may wish they had the moment back to make a different decision, but they're not unhappy over there. And, you know, this too is hard for someone who may have had these thoughts themselves, and then they come and they speak to their loved ones in spirit, and then it you know, they see that they're with other loved ones, that they're okay, that they're being looked after. And then of course we have them thinking, well, this is all the you know, it's the best thing for me. Well, it's not, okay, because you're loved here, you were put here for a reason. And, you know, just try and ride out that feeling, okay? It's very simple for me to sit here, okay? I can't say that I've ever been suicidal. I've been down, you know, but I try and look like everybody else at the positive. My kids need me, you know, my husband, I hope, needs me or wants me here for a little longer. And, you know, God hasn't chosen to take me, so therefore why would I choose to take myself? And whether you believe in a God or a higher spirit or a higher energy, and from a spiritual point of view, God would be the good inside everybody, okay? So it's the goodness inside you. So please, you know, think of why you're here and the things that you've yet to do, and there's so much more. You will be in the afterlife for a long time, okay? So make the most of this time while you're here. Do that thing you've been putting off, you know, book that holiday, even if it's a weekend in Tramore, I don't care what it is, okay? So please stay with us a while longer. We need you. I'm just going to have a quick flick through some of the comments here, because oh God, I can't get them on that. Okay, so let's come back up to the top. Hi Michelle, hi Pam, hi Heather, Gemma, Catherine, Fiona. This isn't the forum for one-to-one readings, because this is more just for general information and chat around spiritual matters and stuff like this. Hi Martin, hi Suzanne, hi Elizabeth, Susie. Okay. Lorraine, hi Linda, yes I'm good, hope you're good. Oh Christine, you're in sunny Florida. Oh, I'm so jealous, because it's been really cold here the last few days. I'm in Tipperary in Ireland, and we had 1 week of really nice weather, and I say nice because it wouldn't be the heat you're used to, because I've been to Florida. But now it's gone cold again, so it's like the winter, and parts of Ireland actually in Scotland have had snow over the last few days, even though we are at the very end of April. Hi Tricia, hi Nicole, you were at the show in Wexford last week. Yeah, I actually really enjoyed that show in Wexford. I did, for anybody else that's listening, I did a live stand-up event in Wexford last week, and I was quite poorly when I was there. My energy wasn't really as strong, and I was kind of dreading it, and I was really nervous. But you know, the crowd that was there was brilliant. They took the messages, and you know, they went with it, and we got such great connections. And you know, people will think I'm mad, but we even had a connection from a doggy, and you know, it's something that, you know, dogs and the animal, they're family members, and they miss us as much as we miss them. So yeah, I really enjoyed the show, Nicole in Wexford last week. Thank you for coming. Hi Lena, sound back. Does that mean you're not getting the sound right? I know my internet connection, I'm in the middle of the countryside, so the internet connection isn't fantastic, so sometimes there might be pauses or there might be sound back, so I'm sorry about that. Okay, hi Cynthia, Edel. Edel, you've done the course also, the suicide first aid. Yeah, and there's one thing, and I always remember it from it because it was something that I had a tendency to say, that somebody committed suicide, okay, and it's really completely not right to say that anymore, because for the younger people, if anybody's watching, in the old days, I say the old days, suicide was illegal. Okay, it was like committing murder. So you would commit suicide in the same way you would commit robbery or commit a crime, anything that was illegal. Okay, it's not illegal anymore. It's recognised as an illness. And, you know, I mean, we can't arrest anybody that has died by suicide. So we now say died by suicide or whatever. So try, you know, for the families of people that have died by suicide, it can make a difference, and they're dealing with enough. Okay, so Edel, you know, anybody that has the opportunity through a work environment or community environment to do that course, and if you're in a community group, if you're, and I know a lot of these have been set up around the place, these suicide prevention groups in areas especially hit with suicide, because as I say, I listen to the Joe Duffy show, and for those people that are listening from abroad, it's a popular radio show. It's only on for about an hour and 15 minutes every day, but people ring up and they talk about all kinds of current affairs and hot topics that are going on in the country at the moment. And a priest was on from County Laois last week, and within the last, I think it was the last 2 weeks or the previous 10 days, that 8 people had lost their lives through suicide in the county, which wouldn't be huge now by comparison to American counties or anything like that. They're very, very small. And 8 people had died within the previous few days. So it really is, you know, it really is something that needs to be addressed. And with our Health Minister, Leah Varadkar, having cut the mental health budget by 12 million. I mean, this is something that we should be lobbying all our TDs and representatives about, because it really is something. I mean, if you're in a small town, I mean, I'm in Thurles, which isn't a particularly small town, but there is no facilities. If somebody's having an episode, having something, I mean, there's nowhere here. There's nothing. We don't even have a doctor after midnight at night time. You know, we have to travel 30 miles to see a doctor. So if you've got a child that's sick, somebody that's suffering some kind of a psychotic episode or something like this, there is no facilities for them, and yet he's cutting the budget further. So this is something we should all be lobbying about, especially, you know, anybody who's been affected, whether it's been a friend, someone in your community that has died by suicide. And I think it's touched everybody over these past couple of years. Hi Catherine, your moods have been all over the place. Yeah, Mercury's been in retrograde since the 28th of April, so just the last couple of days, but even in the previous few weeks, you know, we've had quite a number of full moons, and we've also had the pull of Jupiter and Pluto. Okay, so yeah, anybody that's interested in reading more, astrologyzone.com is very good. It's where I go for a lot of my information. So it's all on there about Mercury in retrograde. Yeah, so you will be a little bit moody, Catherine. You know, we're going to put it down on that and not being female. Okay, Karen, what signs do you see when you've met your twin flame? Karen, I don't know. I don't really know where you're coming from. You're talking about meeting a soulmate. I mean, you know, there's so many different sides to mediumship and psychic and stuff like that. I'm not an expert on astrology and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it comes up in the cards. You know, when somebody's met their I say twin flame now. I don't really, that's not a phrase that I would use that often. I would call it more soulmate. And I would say follow your heart, Karen, okay? Don't look for signs, you know, that it's all right. You will know in your heart. I mean, I was only 18 when I met my husband. Obviously, he wasn't my husband when I was 18. I didn't marry him until I was 25. But, you know, I knew. I even say now that if he'd asked me to marry him within a couple of weeks of having met him, I probably would have said yes. And I know that everybody would have said, oh my God, no, 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 you know. But I knew, and he knew. He even says to me now that he knew. You know, but we were way too young and probably way too sensible. We waited those 7 years. But, you know, just go with your heart, okay? Cynthia, hi, your baby's due soon. Hopefully it all goes well. I hope it all goes well for you too, Cynthia. You due before the 22nd of May. It doesn't say anything on astrologyzone.com about not having a baby. You can't keep it in there, okay? You need to let it out, okay? But I'm sure all will go well. One thing that I wish that I'd have known when I had my kids was about numerology, because I've studied numerology since. My little fella's 8 now. But if I'd had that numerology studied before I'd had him, I was sectioned, and you know, I had the date for a couple of months before my section as to what I was going to be sectioned, and I wouldn't have chosen the date that he was born on. Okay, I would have made them either do it a couple of days before or a couple of days after, because it does have actually a huge influence on their lives. Okay, but I'm sure that Mercury in retrograde won't have any you know, Mercury in retrograde is more about the decisions you're making going forward. Okay, so you made a decision to have this baby, you know, months ago, so I'm sure everything will go fine. And best of luck, Cynthia. Let us know how you get on. Emma McGee, you feel like Mercury always in retrograde in your life. Emma, I know that feeling. Okay, I'm one of those people that just think, you know, it doesn't matter what I do, it always seems to go wrong. You know, you never, I mean, people joke when they come to see me, you know, like, do I have the lotto numbers? I mean, I wouldn't be working if I had lotto numbers, but, you know, if I was giving people lotto numbers, they'd be the last numbers to come out. In fact, I think the lotto should give a prize for somebody who repeatedly never gets one number, because that's me. Okay, so it's definitely always in retrograde in my life too, Emma. Caroline, yeah, I see you've got a question there, Caroline. This isn't the forum for one-to-one questions, but thank you for joining in anyway. Hi, Betty Long. I know Betty. Betty's from my town of Thurles. Hi, Betty. Lovely to see you. Cynthia Brophy, your sister died 2 years now in January. Magella's her name. Love to know. She's age 37, Cynthia. I'm so sorry that you lost your sister so young. Look, this isn't for one-to-one readings, but you know, everybody's well looked after in heaven. They get such support, such help, you know, that they're always okay. But, you know, don't underestimate that they will miss us too. Okay, so talk to your sister, okay? And, you know, I'm not the only medium in Ireland. It doesn't have to be me, but, you know, you can go and have a reading from her. Talk to her yourself individually, one-to-one, and see, you know, if you can get some of those answers for yourself. Okay, Carol Barry, retrograde is your enemy. You're dropping stuff all week. You know what? I've actually been dropping stuff this week too. My husband just says, you know, just don't touch anything. So, which is actually really good, because he's downstairs doing the hoovering right now. Catherine Finley, suicide course called Aware, which is very good training as a psychotherapist, and I hope to do the Aware workshop soon. I actually couldn't tell you, Catherine, who I did this course through. It was organised by my work, which was in LIT, Limerick Institute of Technology, so they organised it. And working in student services, it was something very relevant to the job that I was doing. So, yeah, whatever course you can get on, anything that raises your awareness to spot the signs in people, and, you know, to look, they'll give you some idea of what to look for. So if you're talking to somebody, or you come across somebody that you feel is, you know, ready to leave us, you know, it helps you to talk them down and to find something in their lives through talking to them that's, you know, worth living for. Okay, so something, you know, whether it's a parent, whether it's a child, it doesn't really matter. Just find something, you know, that will give them that want just to stay going for another few weeks until they get professional help. Okay. Daniel Fitzpatrick, what's the kind of signs to look for if a person passed over and is trying to reach out? Daniel, if you're thinking about someone on a daily basis, then they're trying to connect with you, okay? You know, when you're just doing something random and something pops into your head about this person, or that you want to know something, or you're wondering something about them, that's them trying to connect with you. I mean, people see all kinds of things, robins, butterflies, feathers, whatever they find in their home. But basically, I would say if this person is popping into your head at random times, and especially in dreams, then it's time, okay? Hi, Denise. Hi, Kira. Hi Fiona, thank you for bringing awareness to suicide. I know it's such an issue. I mean, I don't know what it's like in other countries. I live in Ireland, so I see all the reports from Ireland, and education is not committed to it. It's not illegal anymore, thank God. Okay. Sound keeps going. Sorry about that, Karen. I don't know why it keeps going. It has to be my internet connection, because it's not fantastic, and I keep trying, and I cast my vote based on a promise from somebody local that they were going to get internet in this area, and we don't even have a government yet, never mind internet. So I'm really getting to the end of my tether here with trying to get decent internet. It's only one provider, and it has a tendency to come and go, so I'm sorry about that, Karen. Hi Elaine, your brother died last year. We'd love to know he's okay and he's with your dad. I'm sure he is. As I said, this isn't the forum for individual readings and messages, but thank you for tuning in, Elaine. Martin, you found suicide have gone a lot worse since in 70s. I do blame the government for drive people take their own life. Yeah, I don't know, can we blame anybody? I mean, we're all adults and we're all responsible for our own destiny. I do know that there's underlying factors, as in, access to education, work, available to us, financial situations. They're all stresses, but realistically, these are stresses for everybody, not just a certain few people. And, we can blame this a lot on the government, but at the end of the day, we need to take a lot of our own choices into our own hands. I'm not saying the government are blameless, and I've already spoken about the proposed cut in the mental health budget, the fact that there is no facilities in certain towns. I've seen a lot of irate comments about even the new children's hospital being put right in the centre of Dublin, and people are saying even if it was out by the M25, at least it would be accessible and you'd have parking and stuff like this. I know our government definitely do not think of anything outside of the M20, not the M25, I'm back in London, the M50, yeah, really we do need to all lobby our local TDs, because it is a problem, and I agree that the government have it within their power to do something about it, but we also have it within our power to watch our loved ones. And I'm not saying that anybody who has a loved one that has died by suicide is to blame at all, okay? But we have to try and keep an eye on these people. Some people are beyond help, okay? Some people just aren't. I spoke to my friend Liz Throp in Canada about this when I was over there last year. And she had this brilliant theory, which I now subscribe to, and her guides had spoke with her about it, that suicide is like the last way out, and a lot of people believe that we have a certain amount of exits from this life. And I was actually talking to her because I was actually quite down, because I'd been working with a family on a missing persons case, okay, and I did a seance with a Ouija board session with another friend. Hi Karina, if you're watching. Karina Collins, psychic down in Cork, and Liz Throp, psychic, is in St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada. So the two very good psychics I can recommend. But Karina and I had done a Ouija board session because the family had requested that I help look for this young man. And I had been very down about it because of the circumstances and the messages that I got through from this young man's grandfather about his passing. He was passed away, unfortunately. And I just couldn't figure out, and his granddad had said something to me at the time through the Ouija board, that it was his time. He was just called and he didn't have the intention to go. And then I was explaining this to Liz, and she said that her guides had spoke her through some their theory on suicide, that we all have a certain amount of exit points. I mean, everybody, when we're younger, we tend to drive a little bit faster. And I know I've had a couple of near misses when I was a younger driver. And, so we've all had that kind of moment in the car, or, something else that's happened where we've fallen and we could have banged our head, or we got into a fight, whatever. I've never been in a fight, but you know what I mean. So we've all had those moments where we thought, oh my God, I could have gone there, So these are our exit points, but we have a certain amount of them in our lives, okay? And if we don't leave during one of those exit points, it can come down to just being called by spirit at a particular moment in time and having no control over it, okay? So it's just, and this is what happened with the particular young man that I was trying to help the family with. And yeah, unfortunately, his granddad said he was just called, okay? He didn't leave his home with any intention. But that's where he ended up on that night, was back in spirit world with his spirit family, which was totally heartbreaking for the family. It's not that I'm saying that I want everybody who's had someone missing to contact me, because I don't do these things generally over the phone or by message or anything like that. It's always better if a family member comes to me with a belonging or a photograph or something of the person. It leads on to another topic, but I've had lots of friends of a young missing man not too far from me contact me by message, email, all the rest of it. And it's very important. And, ethically, I just would like people to know too, I don't read generally for third parties. You know, so if you're coming to me asking, is your boyfriend seeing somebody else, or is he going to get a job or whatever? I mean, unless I've got permission from somebody to talk about them, then it's not fair that I do, okay? So if you have somebody missing within your circle, encourage maybe a family member to see a medium or psychic, you know, because it's not fair that the psychic be asked to read somebody that's not directly connected to you, because this person may not be passed. I'm a medium, I'm a psychic medium, but I'm a medium predominantly, and I always say to people who contact me, you know, by all means, please come and see me, but by coming to see me or by contacting me, you're accepting that they may have passed, and that's a wake-up call for a lot of people, you know, but it's the times we live in and it's the environment we live in, and if you're coming to see a medium, it's because someone's passed over, okay? So anyway, that's kind of going down another road. Martin Brown, thank you for your comment. I don't know, I was born in the 70s.